This is K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes. Hello everyone, good evening. I'll play a couple of minutes of a video here, and then we'll get the net started here. This is Parks on the Air, new ARL antenna, Mamo Bean. Let's take a look.
Perfectly. These are power pole connectors, which makes it easy to not get them backwards. So I usually ask 3 times this or so, and ask one more time, and if you don't hear anybody, then we'll just start calling CQ.
It says frequency in use, Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey.
Okay, so then we're just gonna say nothing heard, and then you'll just start calling CQ. So what you're gonna say is, CQ, 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 Parks on the Air. This is Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, W1AW, CQ. And you just want to say, kind of repeat the same thing for several seconds to give people who are tuning the band a second to find you. And I'm also going to spot us on the POTA website.
This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by.
You'll just start calling that. When we hear somebody, you'll stop, and then we'll log that person. And I'll take care of the login. So you can go ahead and start calling, and I'll get the spot.
CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, Parks on the Air. CQ, 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 Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, Parks on the Air, activation.
November 7, Mike Zulu Whiskey.
November 7, Mike Zulu Whiskey. You are 5'9".
Into Park US.
Into Park US 1729, W1AW.
Okay, thanks. You have Chuck here. You're 5555, Wyoming.
Say thank you for Wyoming, and thanks for my
All right, Chuck.
contact.
Thank you for Wyoming, and thank you for...
All right, thanks for watching that. This was on the ARLHQ YouTube. First Parks on the Air with the ARL Mama Bean. So we'll get this net started here. Hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for October 30th, 2024. Great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, Delta Oscar Romeo Oscar November. I'm this evening's net control. I'd like to thank Jim and Zero TRP, as always, for taking the learning nets when I'm unable to. Looks like last week on the 23rd, you spoke about generators versus inverters. Club meeting on Anderson power poles took place just over this last week. An upcoming 285 Tech Connect Fest. So really cool stuff there. Before I get too far in, I am using a different radio, and we'll just like to check and see if there is any station that would like to give me a signal report if I need to change anything. Please let me know.
Perfectly rateable, 5 and 9 in 0 TRP.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks so much there, N0 TRP, Jim. I'll get you checked in. Really do appreciate that, and I'll maybe share some information on that as well throughout the net. But I do appreciate that. So with that, you can contact us. Excuse me, we meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm 145 and 448.625. I skipped this, but we'll be taking your check-ins, comments, and questions, updates, and more as always. Email addresses, elmer@w0tx.org, net@w0tx.org. Over on our website, on our main menu under officer, staffs, and volunteers, there are plenty of email addresses and contact information. So if you'd like to get a hold of someone, there's plenty of opportunity to do that. Again, we stream on most social media, or we are on most social media at Denver Radio Club. We do stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. I'm also streaming on twitch.tv this evening for kind of the first time in a while. So if you'd like to see behind the scenes, the net, visual context, that is an additional way to participate in the net.
0TX repeater.
This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use I2 phonetics for the call sign and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you check in. As always, you can follow along with check-ins, w0tx.org/check-in. With that, if your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey 0 Alpha, Whiskey Sierra. Albert here in Westminster. No traffic, over.
Kilowatt Delta 0, Charlie Golf Foxtrot, Kenny and Thornton, no traffic.
Alpha Fox 0 Echo, Alex Broomfield.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Whiskey Charlie, Brian Centennial, no traffic.
Alpha Foxtrot 0 Alpha Sierra, David Evergreen, no traffic.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Hold up there for just a moment. Net Control would like to welcome knowledge of the following check-ins. Again, N0TRP, thanks again for the signal report. We got you checked in. Jim. Then we had W0AWS Albert, KD0CGF Kenny, AF0E Alex, KF0AWC Brian, and AF0AS Dave. Thank you all so much for checking in here. All right, once more, if your call suffix begins with letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic questions, A through M, Alpha through Mike, please call now.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood. This is Kilo Echo 0 Alpha Bravo, Can in Lakewood.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. That time we had KF0 FPI Ron and Kilo Echo 0 Alpha Bravo Ken. Thank you both so much for checking in. Okay, with that, we'll open up the whole alphabet. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes if you'd like to check in just for the counter, if any traffic or questions. All call signs, all call suffixes, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, A through Z, Alpha through Zulu, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control once more, or again, K1, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We had just checking in KE0TSF Pete. I'll get you checked in here in a minute. Once more, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes if you'd like to check in. This is a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics, and we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. So if you'd like to check in, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
You, and I'm also going to spot us on the POTA website, so you'll just start calling
Alpha Whiskey, Parks on the Air activation. We are 5-9 into US 172.
All right, nothing heard just at the moment. This is K1 DBC Net Control. If you're watching just before the net, I was playing a video on the Mamo Bean antenna by ARL, so check that out if you like. So with that, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Once more, well, there'll be check-ins throughout the net, but I didn't hear anybody say they wanted to check in throughout, or any other check-ins at the moment. I didn't hear anything, but if you want to check in, please call now. Okay, nothing heard just yet. I didn't see anybody check in with traffic. Again, w0tx.org for more information on our website or on our club. As always, we had a recent in-club person meeting with at the Lakewood Police Department. Post was taken down, but there was an Anderson power pole presentation and a hands-on workshop as well, put on by Mark Thomas N0XRX, and it sounded like it worked quite well. So we'll be trying to do in-person meetings as we can in the future. Most of our monthly meetings will probably still be virtual, but yeah, once in a while we'll start try to do that. So hopefully people had some experience with that, and yeah, it was a good experience. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I certainly can bring up a few things. It's been a little bit quiet, but there's been some activity here recently. But I'll throw it out to the group. This is a great place to learn about ham radio STEM topics. If you have any comments or questions or updates on projects, let us know.
W0 AWS here. I'm curious if anyone knows anything about building an RF amplifier to impedance match from the output of the IF stage to the 50 ohms of an amplifier. Over.
Okay, good question there. That's a very heady question. Yeah, W0AWS Albert looking for some information on RF amplifier for impedance matching output stage 50 ohms AM amplifier, I believe is what you had mentioned. But I'll throw it out to the group. Does anybody have further comments or questions on that? Go right ahead.
0TX repeater.
This is K1 DBC Net Control. There's a website called Stack Exchange, and then specifically it's a ham.stackexchange.com. Maybe some information on there, maybe posted on there, but there was a post from 6 years ago, modified 19 days ago, impedance matching between RF amplifier stages. He's in the process of building RF amplifier chain for VFO, experience and design issue, and they put up some designs and schematics, and maybe it seemed like people were able to help a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if you have any further questions on that, Albert, or further follow-up, or anybody else on that. Go right ahead.
No, you pretty much hit it in the head. That's good to know. I thought Stack Exchange was nothing but software people stuttering back and forth about all the nuances of software, which changes every 30 or 40 seconds. I'll take a dig into the Stack Exchange and look under the ham radio section. But thanks for the tip and letting me know where to go. W0AWS, over.
All right, sounds good. Not a problem. Yeah, Stack Exchange, not frequently spoken about or visited by some of us, but yeah, ham radio, it's a pretty heady topic and a lot of help there. So very cool stuff. Yeah. Anyone else on that? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else, or question on impedance matching between RF amplifier stages? Go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We had a couple of questions or things online. Give me a second here. All right, a couple of people checked in. KF0MCM, Michael, and another person. I've seen you before. I do forget your call sign. I do apologize about that. A new call sign for Michael, AF0SF. I do apologize on that. He was asking a question here about DMR Brandmeister. Give me a second. Oh, it looks like he was asking about DMR Brandmeister bridging maybe between our analog repeater. If anybody is interested in joining our tech committee and helping out with some of the tech issues, let us know. We meet, I think, on the first Thursday of the month. We could use some help with some repeater bridging, if possible, so and internet linking. So if anybody has any experience on that, we'd love to start to bridge and interlink some of our repeaters, some of our analog, maybe our main repeater here and our DMR Brandmeister 310804, and maybe some others. So if anybody has any interest in knowledge of that and experience, let us know. Not a problem, Michael. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Another question here is someone was asking about YouTube live streams, about maybe closed captioning or live transcript. I thought it should be available. Let me really quickly try to bring that up here. I thought I've seen in the past that it does that. It is struggling to load here on my screen for some reason, but I believe there should be a closed caption option. Let me try reloading this here. Looks like it is turned off for this one. I guess I've always seen it maybe after the fact. Let me see if I can potentially turn that on for live, but yeah, good question there. If anybody has questions or comments about our YouTube live stream or any of our online presence or social media, we could always use some help with that as well. But let me see if I can fix this here real quick, maybe. But anyway, else, comments, questions, check-ins, anything else, please call now.
TRP.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll try to have a closed caption on here the next time, but I do see an option for that was not enabled. So with that, N0TRP, Jim, go right ahead.
This N0TRP. Yeah, Drone, you asked at the beginning of the meeting about your signal, and I am noticing now, and maybe started just a little bit into the net, there's a very faint noise on it. It's kind of a combination of a 60-cycle AC hum and a very high-pitched squeal. You know, very faint and perfectly readable, but just wanted to let you know it's there. N0TRP, back to net.
Thank you for the follow-up on that. Yes, I am hearing that as well, so thank you for confirming. Hopefully, it's not maybe over the radio signal, but I guess it sounds like it is. Let me see if I can maybe make a change here. May not maybe able to make it on the fly. Give me just a moment here. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Give me just about 30 seconds here. All right. Never seen a live transcript on WedgeNet. So yeah, I'll see if I can TSF. Yeah, I'll see if I can get that enabled for you there. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Sorry for the wait there. Just checking to seeing. I don't hear that noise anymore, but just checking for a signal report.
Yeah, this N0 TRP. Go ahead and say some more.
Okay, it does sound a little bit weird now. This is K1 DBC testing Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie 1234 4321. I think it has gotten rid of that, but it's changed the audio just slightly. But let me know if it's any better or worse.
Yeah, no, I think it's better. Yeah, I don't hear that same faint sound on there. So yeah, it does sound better. N0 TRP.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. A setting that I just changed there was compounder or compounder. Compounding, I think it has to do with noise compression. It is also potentially known as ALC or AGC on some radios, but that is the option that I just enabled there. This is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group. We had just a slight break there, but anyone else, comments, questions, check-ins, please come there.
0TX repeater.
Checking in, Alpha Echo 0 Romeo. Good evening.
All right, AE0YR Ed, thank you so much for checking in. Really do appreciate that.
CIV, WD0 CIV, Charles in Denver. No traffic. Check in.
All right, Net Control, I'd like to welcome the knowledge of the following check-ins. AE0YR Ed and WD0CIV. Charles, thank you both so much for checking in. I guess we'll take this opportunity to take check-ins. If you're just tuning in, this is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics. It's about an hour long. We still have another 30 or 40 minutes. If you'd like to check in just for the count or if you have any traffic or questions, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0 Romeo Uniform Hotel. M in Westminster. Checking. Kilo Foxtrot 0 Quebec Kilo Mike. Josh in Denver with a question.
It does make the radio sound worse, though, from my end. I'll have to see what I can change on that. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. It looks like a new check-in or recent check-in and maybe recent tech license at KF0RUH, Romeo Uniform Hotel, Tim in Westminster. Thank you so much for checking in. Great to hear you. And KF0QKM, Josh, with a traffic record question. I'll get back to you here in just a few minutes. Good to hear from all of you. All right, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm playing with audio just a little bit here to see if I can experiment with it. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Once more, if you'd like to check in just for the count or if you have any traffic or questions, please come there. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. 15 check-ins so far. Really do appreciate that. Again, we're streaming on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. More information on our club, w0tx.org. You can follow along with check-ins if you like, w0tx.org/check-in. We have another half hour. We do have Josh, KF0QKM, with traffic. Please, the net is yours. Go ahead.
I'm basic, very basic. And I was curious about grounding. I feel like I've been finding conflicting information on the internet about whether I have to or what the point is for grounding it. A DM530 power supply, just any sort of basic information on it, point purpose of what I need to do.
All right, I do apologize, QKM. When you first checked in, your signal was pretty good, but that last transmission, I could not really hear much. It was a lot of static. I do apologize. I really couldn't copy any of that. If you want to try to get to a better place, we can try to do a signal report, and you can try to go right ahead once more.
Is this any better?
That is much better. QKM, Quebec, Kilo, Mike, Josh, go right ahead.
Great, thanks so much. And sorry about that. No, just looking for basic advice on grounding. I'm setting up my first HF rig. I have a 991 and a DM530 power supply. Just curious about, whether and how I should consider grounding, what the purpose is, just based on some conflicting information on the internet. Just looking for a little bit of some guardrails or something.
Comment A0YR.
My apologies. I was trying to go back, and I heard you mention a 99 something radio. I do apologize. But there was a follow-up in there. Go right ahead.
This is Ed Alpha Echo Zero Yankee Romeo. I've got the same base station radio and same power supply, and someone this call, this NAS will remember my long saga when I first got the 991. Tremendous difficulties. Turned out to be a manufacturing defect that eventually got repaired by Yaesu. But along that entire journey, I did go through what you're going through with the grounding. And I've got a station ground, which is an 8-foot copper rod with flat strap into the shack, and a common point ground inside the shack, and also lightning protection as a separate ground at the base of the antenna with a separate ground connection going to that. I never got to the bottom of whether or not my problems could have been ground related. I don't think they were, but just to reflect on having the same radio and power source, that's what I did for my grounding. Seems to be working.
That's right. Thank you so much on that. I really do appreciate that. The FT991A. Yeah, grounding makes a heck of a difference in terms of HF reception specifically as well. So if your connection is not grounded for RF grounding, definitely make sure it is, because it makes a huge difference. I'll throw it back to I think that was Josh QKM. If you have any follow up on that, go right ahead.
This is QKM. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Just looking for a little bit of guidance. So thank you.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I was trying to briefly bring it up here, but the 991A manual looks like should have some pretty good information on that. That you can find online as well. So I'll see if I can try to bring that up here real quick. But anyone else on grounding, HF grounding necessity and performance? It sounds like for the most part we usually get quite a bit more performance for a buck with grounding involved. It's the other half of the antenna, essentially. AWC, go right ahead.
I just want to comment on the grounding. RF grounding is a bit different than antenna grounding as far as when we were at Build Day back in late June, the CW guys were having issues with RF problems because their keyer was sparking back to them, so that they were actually getting shocked by their keyer because we had no grounding for the RF. So it was RF generates on your machine, and that basically the grounding, ground rod, ground rod and stuff that he's doing will take away that to prevent shocking and stuff to the person. So it's more of a safety issue. Then you've got your ground plane for a vertical antenna, which is, a series of counterpoise or radials.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the follow-up on that. Yeah, absolutely. RF grounding, there are different types of grounding for safety purposes, from shock or from lightning protection, as well as ground planes to complete the antenna itself. I really do appreciate the follow-up on that. If you have anything further on that, go right ahead.
No, it's pretty much that, and then you've got your lightning protector where you're doing you have a big tower. Sometimes they'll put in 2 to 3 ground rods and attach them all together. But one thing you want to make sure is when you're RF grounding is that you don't daisy chain them. You don't go from one unit to the other, but you can use like a wire nut or a splice bar to where everything is tied together outside of the radio, not the back of the radio where you're going from one to another, but just one wire, and you're using like a wire nut to tie 2 or 3 wires together.
Perfect. Thank you again for the follow-up on that. I think the other diagram I was trying to look for was in Ed's. Ed Reed's A0YR, his antenna, the NFED half-wave PARFED, has a pretty good little diagram here of a couple of options here for grounding from ground rods and how you would hook it up to an antenna and the different counterpoises and transformers and balance that you would need and how that configuration would look. So really do appreciate the follow-up on that. Yeah, anyone else grounding or anything else, please come there. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'm going to try to make a real quick change on my radio here. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. Apologies about that. This is K1 DBC Net Control. I've just disabled some other option, but just to see how things sound. I don't think anything you should hear too much difference on your end, but just trying to check things from my end. But yeah, anyone else on grounding or anything else? We have another 25 or so minutes. Please come there. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I just disabled an option for emphasis. I think it's pre-emphasis, de-emphasis. It sounds a little bit more crunchy on my end, at least the kerchunk, but hopefully it's not too worse on your end. If somebody has, if you want me to change that back, let me know. But I'll leave this for now and see what it sounds like. But I certainly have a few things I can bring up. There were a lot of activities over the weekends here and plenty of stuff. But anyway else, 25 so minutes. Please come there.
Katie Zero, C Jeff. Hey, Jerome. Sorry. It sounded like you might have doubled someone there.
My apologies. If there was someone trying to get in there, please go right ahead.
Yes, this is K0 FNS, Kilo Zero Fox, November Sierra. Check in.
My apologies. I believe that was Kilo Zero Foxtrot November Sierra Frank. Thank you so much for checking in there. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I do apologize. I'm going to undo the change that I just made because it doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. I'll be back again in another 30 seconds. My apologies. Okay, sorry again about that. Just trying to work out some settings on this radio. It's our first time operating it. It's a Tytera TH9800, kind of basically a dual band. All right, it's a quad band. It can operate on 6 speeders as well. 50 watts. My previous radio, I think I blew out some finals or something because I'm not getting any output wattage on VHF, so I'm going to have to see what I can do to get that corrected. So this is a radio that I'm using in the meantime. Through some Amazon discounts, I got it for about $150, $160 US. Again, 45 or 50 watts VHF, UHF, and 10 meters and 6 meters as well. But there's just some settings I have to work out, and I am interfacing this with a computer slightly differently than I have before. So far so good, more or less. Probably if I wasn't using it within a computer, it'd probably be just fine. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. Appreciate everyone's patience with that.
0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Again, there's some few things that have come up. We have another 20 or so minutes here, but there's been some events. We had the simulated emergency test, I believe it was what it's called. We can talk about that. I don't know if anybody had any interaction with that. The Colorado Section Aries team and Aries districts participated in that. We can talk about that, or if anybody has anything on that or anything else, please come there. All right, well, I can talk about that here real quick. More information is on the ColoradoAries.org page. The Colorado Simulated Emergency Test this year, it was held on the 26th, so just this past Saturday at 1300 hours. Colorado Section Aries districts have been preparing for the event for several months with many sets of tabletop exercises. Let this year's ARL Simulated Emergency Test be a chance to reach out to these partners to establish or review plans and develop working relationships. More information on arl.org/simulated emergency test. And I can pass a little bit more information on that. Again, over on the arl.org webpage. Again, October 5th and 6th. This was a little bit of an older one here. Basically, nationwide exercise, at least on the 5th and the 6th at the beginning of the month. Exercise is a chance to test personal emergency operating skills and the readiness of communication, your communications equipment and accessories in a simulated emergency-like deployment. ARL field organization leaders at the section and local levels and many other volunteers that are active in public service and emergency communications are developing simulated emergency-like scenarios in consultation with a variety of agencies and organizations for whom radio amateurs are known to provide service during emergencies. So some information on the local one that occurred here. Just this past weekend, I had some audio of it. Let me see if I can try to bring that up. I may not be able to play it over the air, but let me see if you're watching on YouTube. You should hear something in just a minute here. Maybe.
ANT, exercise, times 1334.
Copy 1334. Exercise.
Loaded. And maybe. Here in Aurora. And it looks like it's pretty expensive.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I didn't capture too great of audio there, but you may have heard if you were listening on certain Aries repeaters here, exercise over the nets, and there was net control and working with EOC offices and things like that. So I don't know if anybody had any opportunity to check in or to participate in the local Aries simulated emergency test. Let me know. More information. I think this link is also available on the page that I mentioned, but it forwards to sites.google /view/co Aries set. A little bit more information on here. Set was called Dark Storm. Let me see here. Thought I had seen some more information on their page here on what it was. I do apologize, but more information on their page there. Let me see if I can bring up anything else here. They do have some YouTube videos from past simulations. So I don't have much more on that, but if anybody has comments or questions on that or anything else, please call them. let's see, over on Facebook.com /, see if you need this, Colorado ARRL. No, it has to be /groups /Colorado ARRL. Great place for our PIO officers and our PR teams from our local ARL division, Rocky Mountain Division. Recent post here by Desiree Backus highlighting a pretty unique opportunity in Haswell, Colorado, a bit South Colorado, but with the Deep Space Exploration Society, their Earth Moon Earth contest. Really awesome opportunity here. Get ready to explore the cosmos. They invite amateur radio operators, astronomers, and all curious minds to an incredible event at the iconic 60-foot dish antenna in Haswell, Colorado. Witness Earth, Moon, Earth transmissions as they bounce signals off the moon for one of the most exciting ARL contests of the year. This takes place on November 15th, Friday, November 15th through Sunday, November 17th. What to expect? EME, Earth, Moon, Moon Bounce Contact, a deep dive into radio astronomy, and hands-on learning and the chance to connect with other amateur radio operators and space enthusiasts. So you can check out more information on their website, dses.org. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I think I maybe have a couple more things, but we have another 13 or so minutes. I'd like to throw it out to the group. Any other further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's Learning Net? Please call now. Oh, I do have a bit more information on the SET, the Simulated Emergency Test. More information by rmham.org. This past weekend, the Colorado Aries Simulated Emergency Test, Exercise Dark Storm occurred. This exercise is simulated emergency deployment for people to test their communication skills and readiness of their equipment. As part of that, RMHAM supported the exercise with use of their communications trailer and QRV, Quick Response Vehicle. The RMHAM DMR linked repeater system was also utilized as part of the exercise. The communications trailer was employed by the Aries Colorado Section Emergency Coordinator, James KI0KN, as a remote emergency operations center for communications on HF, VHF, and DMR. The QRV mast was used for mounting, elevating, and rotating Yagi antennas on the VHF and 40 meters. Activity centered around the communications trailer as State Aries personnel arrived in support of the exercise remote EOC.
0PX repeater.
And last portion here, last paragraph. The DMR network was utilized as part of the exercise to allow statewide UHF communications between municipal and county EOCs with state EOC. They were able to use the DMR linked network to communicate with other units when communications using either 40-meter HF or VHF simplex were unable to get through. Having an independent amateur radio microwave link system, which does not rely on the internet, allows for communication during times of electrical power outages and internet failure. RMHEM is proud to be a provider of resources that support communications and training exercises and real-time emergencies. So really awesome to see that here. Written by Glenn Recker, KE0UWC on the 28th. rmham.org. All right, I think that's all that I had on that. We have another 10 minutes. Further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Please call there. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Again, the 285 Tech Connect Fest is coming up here on the November 2nd, the Saturday. So this Saturday, its event is a cornerstone of their club. Consists of 5 45-minute technical presentations that run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., an hour for lunch. So more information on their website, I believe na0tc.org. Some of the presentations are to include, again, more information on the RMHAM network. Another is choosing an HF radio, HF and HOA, introduction to software-defined radios, radio astronomy, and more. So a really cool opportunity there.
Katie Zero CGF with a comment.
Yeah. CGF, go right ahead.
When you were talking, when you spoke HOA, you made me think of something random that I seen the other day on just browsing the internet. So I was looking up vertical antennas, just kind of comparing and see what there is. Because recently I've been fighting a DX77 high gain vertical, trying to get it tuned correctly. And I came across a flagpole antenna that you could disguise through the HOA. So I thought that was just cool and funny at the same time. Katie Zero CGF back to that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, I've seen a few videos here recently on YouTube about HOA stealth antennas. I forget which ones I saw here recently, but antenna as a flagpole, really good option there as well. I've seen people use their gutters and some other options as well. But there should be some fairly good options for stealth HOA usage. So this will be a pretty good talk. WB2SHR Stan, it looks like a club member is going to be giving that. And I think we've had some presentations in the past on that. So a little bit of a struggle here and there, but you should be able to find something that works well for you.
Katie Zero CGF. I got just had a funny another random thought. How about you would have to prevent yourself putting the trash can out, but making an antenna out of a trash can. This guy is in the HOA. Sorry, I don't know what got into me. It's just a bunch of random thoughts. Katie Zero CGF back from that.
Oh, very cool there, CGF. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Yeah, really good options out there for stealth purposes. So I'm just struggling with some tech things on my end at the moment. But anyone else? A few minutes here. I can certainly bring up a couple more things. But anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Let me know. All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. Apologize and appreciate everyone's patience this evening with some technical issues on my end. I'll see if I can work those out for next time. Just some audio issues from my end, but hopefully it sounded all right for the most part. What else? A few things I can bring up. Let me see. Maybe I don't have too much else really. I guess I'll take this opportunity to take last-minute check-ins. A few more minutes in the net here. A great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics. This is the Learning Net for the Denver Radio Club. So if you'd like to check in just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call signs. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Alpha Echo Zero Romeo Kilo. This is Fred in Denver.
All right, and that time we had 8E0 Arcade. Fred, thank you so much for checking in here. Really appreciate that. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Let's see. I think anything that I was going to bring up might take a little bit too long, but just more information over on arl.org/news. Great place to some pretty good news articles there. This one, I guess I was going to bring up a little bit. Pacificon inspires next generation of radio amateurs. A little bit of a lengthy article here, but contributed by Bob Interbitson and Q1R, Director of Marketing and Innovation. Mount Diablo ARL Amateur Radio Club held its successful convention, Pacificon 2024, in San Ramon, California, on October 18th through the 20th. Convention drew radio amateurs from throughout the populous Bay Area of California and beyond, and annually hosts the ARL Pacific Division Convention. Let me see. They coincided with the largest scouting event, Jamboree on the Air, as radio amateurs and radio clubs around the world got scouts on the air to promote friendship and global citizenship. They partnered with Boy Scouts of the America Golden Gate Area Council to get dozens of scouts to attend. Let's see. Many young hams also attended, including those accompanying parents and grandparents. Among them was ARL East Bay Section Youth Coordinator Alexia Snethen, KM6 LGG, 17-year-old from Alameda County, and San Juan Youth Coordinator Shane Lewis, K5SML. Both youth coordinators are general class licenses involved in a variety of activities. Let me drop and see if there's anything else. Yeah, a little bit of a lengthy article. So yeah, more information over on arl.org/news. A little bit more information on that. I'll throw it out to the group. Any last minute comments, questions, check-ins? We have another few minutes. Please call now.
0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll cover some quick club business. Again, w0tx.org for more information on our club. We'd always love to have more people helping out with net control if possible. Let us know. We have net scripts for our Wednesday night and Sunday night learning nets, and a tool to help take check-ins. Let's see, article here by Mark Thomas on partnering with Grouper and ARL. Our recent roundtable is on there. This is reading off our club webpage, and more information on there. So, yeah, if anybody is ever interested, again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. We live stream on there. We also have a chat room, w0tx.org/Discord. We'd love to see you on there. If anybody's ever interested in helping out, a lot of volunteer opportunities, especially within kind of public relations, PIO, if you'd like to help out with our Facebook or social media or live streaming or whatever it may be, let us know. So again, w0tx.org/officers, a lot of contact information on there. With that, I'll throw it out to the group one last time. This will be a final opportunity to check in. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard. If you do watch our YouTube videos, you'll know that I maybe play a video once in a while here, either before or after or both. Right before the net, I played a Parks on the Air antenna, ARL antenna, a Mamo Bean. And after the net here, I'll be playing a quick video about a 17-year-old volunteers as dispatcher for Western North Carolina Police Department. So really cool stuff there. With that, let me see. We had a total of 17 check-ins. Really do appreciate that. I'm sorry if I missed you there. Really appreciate everyone watching on YouTube and contributing as much as possible wherever you can. Again, we appreciate our Elmers for helping out and answering questions, and we appreciate our club for allowing us to use this repeater. Join us on the third Wednesday of the month, 6 p.m. for our Elmers session prior to the regularly scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7 p.m. That will take place online unless otherwise noted. w0tx.org for more information. With that, please join us next week, 1930 hours, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, for our next Learning Net. This is K1 DBC Net Control 7.3, and I will be clear. All right, everyone, thanks for your patience, and pretty cool video here.
Back now to storm recovery in western North Carolina, where the police chief in Banner Elk, small town in Avery County about 17 miles southwest of Boone, says his officers are stretched thin as they help storm victims.
A 17-year-old has stepped up to assist officers by making sure everyone in that community is accounted for. Fox 8's Justin Lundy has her inspiring story.
Answering calls.
Go ahead.
During a time of need, 17-year-old Lily Flores is keeping herself busy by volunteering as a dispatcher for the Banner Elk Police Department.
Debris removal has been complete on Old Turnpike.
10-4, and I was ready and willing to do whatever it took to kind of help out the community. And with all of our communication down, they found a spot for me, and I started dispatching, and I really enjoyed it, especially the kind of rush of it all.
The hurricane caused the Banner Elk Police Department to flood, so they transferred their operations to Town Hall.
Do we have any pending calls?
Not as of right now.
Where Flores was trained to help police officers do wellness checks on every person in town.
I had a really fun time learning all the 10 codes and figuring out what meant what. And so they would tell me the address and tell me whether there was someone living there, someone suspected living there, if there were animals there, if they needed help.
Welfare check complete at 583 Main Street East.
10-4.
Besides dispatching, the 17-year-old also answered distress calls from locals who didn't know where their loved ones were.
And so there was a woman there who hadn't been in contact with any of her family members, and she had pets. And so a family member had called Town Hall and was like, hey, I haven't heard from her. I need to get in contact. I don't know if she's safe. She has animals. She needs food and water. I found somebody who was open and didn't have anything to do at the moment, and we filled their car with stuff to provide and made sure that she was okay.
Though that person was okay, Flores says she'll continue volunteering at the Banner Elk Town Hall until everyone in her community is accounted for.
There are definitely a lot of people who haven't been found. There have been teachers at the high school, family members, and then it's just kind of that stuff is kind of out of my control and out of my hands, but I did what I could, and it definitely made me feel better as a person in the community, knowing that I did my job and I helped.
Reporting in Avery County, Justin Lundy, Fox 8 News.
And if you are interested in becoming a volunteer dispatcher for the Banner Elk Police Department, contact their town hall at 828-898-5398. Again, 828.
All right, thanks everyone. Pretty inspiring story there. All right, you all have a good evening. Talk to you soon.